Hi, this is Steve from yourcreativelife.com talking today about writer dreams. And again, this notion of how you can get what you want in your writer life by being intentional and focused about it. This isn't a career where you can just stumble in and hope that people offer you the things that you're most interested in. It's a career where visioning makes a huge difference. And that's entirely what this series of videos is all about. Today, we're talking about that notion of what you want in your script. What's your writer dream of what you want to happen on the page, and how do you get to navigate that? Well, the basic thing here is again about visioning and being really precise and really specific. So here's a technique that I use all the time that you can put in place right now, today, to make a difference in terms of what you want. And that is to make lists. I'm a big list maker. And once I have a script, an idea, something floating around in my head, all sorts of notions and visions come to me at all hours of the day. So the most important thing is for me to write those things down. So maybe I have a notebook handy, maybe I have an index card handy, maybe I put it into my phone, maybe I have a list on my computer. It doesn't matter. But when something floats through, whether it's a title, whether it's a scene, whether it's a notion of, oh, there could be singing here, or there could be a fight here, or there could be an explosion there, or I see a fire or a blue sky, or I love this notion of, referring to this idea from this particular series and maybe doing an homage to that in my piece. Anything I think of that I would like to have show up in my script, I'm going to write it down. And I'm going to also, in the spirit of the writer's room, like no bad ideas. I'm not going to kick anything out of bed. I'm just going to continue to percolate and think. And so what will happen to me is not only will I have that space, whether it's on my computer or an index card or on my phone, but I'll also wake up perhaps and first thing in the morning, grab my journal and write down some other things. And I make sure I transfer those things into that list to increase the idea that those things are going to end up in my script. So, and it's no accident then. Once I collect all those things, I do a lot of work on index cards, as I've talked about before in some of my process videos about how I write. And as long as I put it on the index card and begin to sort of shuffle it in and, begin to plan where those things might be, I am so much better off than if I just sort of jump into a script, not really thinking about what might happen. And then, usually it can be useful to do some sort of channeling, some kind of intuitive space, but also to remember what my instincts have been can add really specific and juicy flavor to the script. It's also helpful, I've found, if I'm pitching an idea to an executive or talking about an idea, brainstorming with other writers or other people in the industry, I can begin to talk about, here are my impulses. Like, yes, we are definitely, the story is about this and it goes through this and we end up here, but I'm also thinking about the flavor of this. It seems really interesting to me if we have this kind of sequence with the mountains, or maybe there's something with a series of toys, or perhaps there's a thing with music. All of those things suggest to myself, but also to the people I'm talking to, that I'm really connected to the landscape, the map, the architectural plans of what it is I'm about to do. So this is a way to use that channeling, those impulses you have, whatever they are, to get them down on paper and to make sure to do your best. Now, you don't want to shoehorn anything into a script if it doesn't fit, but you also don't want to forget your ideas along the way. And this is a way to capture them so that you can use your dreams and manifest vision and channel all of that stuff into your script, so that your script might be juicier and richer and more vibrant than it was if you didn't write down those ideas. So I highly and wholeheartedly recommend that you follow this path or some similar one to capture your ideas as you go into a script. And that's whether the script is for you or whether it's for a studio or a network or a TV series. There are still ways that you can, manage to introduce those things that might come directly from your heart into your piece, so that your piece might have more of you, more of your DNA on the page. I hope you found that useful. Take a look at yourcreativelife.com, where everything's soup to nuts about what I do to help professional writers and aspiring writers like you succeed in the industry in spite of the ups and downs and the craziness of what's going on out there. There are tried and true ways to channel who you are and what you do into your scripts in order to put your best foot forward. And that's what I'm all about. Subscribe to this channel because I post a brand new video every single week. Listen to the podcast that we have. You can find out about that on yourcreativelife.com. And also subscribe to the once a month newsletter so you can get in your inbox direct wisdom like this that might help your writer's life. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.